The Last Supper has a moment that is based on the scripture that was a very profound part of how I interpreted Phillip.
I literally, without spoiling anything,
That sort of comes from a very personal place.
it must not be true. It must. There's some other thing happening here.
Keeping hold of the family, because that's his role, I feel, whilst at the same time taking care of his inner wounds.
This may be the end.
Good morning. How you doing?
How are you? I don't know that we ever formally met.
Very briefly earlier this year.
Yeah.
But season 5.
Yes.
Coming out soon, obviously. A lot of stuff. You said last night something that I think is really interesting, so I want to dive into that, which is your character obviously has gone through this arc of understanding anxiety and like walking through death and dealing with that. However, there's a roller coaster to that. And of course, the death of Rhema, the death of John the Baptist, the death of Lazarus, even the death of Jesus, all of these things are going to bring you to a place in which you're going to have to understand more than you thought you could.
Yeah, I mean, that's an almost insurmountable thing to understand. And I think it's one thing to intellectualize. You know, some of us, we go, I get it. But then when you're really put through the ringer, I mean, it's that I don't know what could be more challenging than trying to come to an understanding that the Messiah, the person who you are trying to bring about his mission in this world, however you can, is saying this may be the end. It's really hard to then trust in his plan or what he's saying, because you go, please. I mean, it just, you can't. You say it must not be true. It must. There's some other thing happening here. And I think people, when they read the Gospels, they go, why didn't the disciples get it? It's like, well, you try to get it. To something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to dive in a little bit with your relationships with some of your other cast members. First, Joanna. So Amy is amazing, obviously, and she's joined the group now. Her being kind of connected to John the Baptist, is there any connection point between her and Andrew in this season?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. What does that kind of look like, at least without spoilers there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just that's a connection that will never go away, because we have that, you know, that moment down in the dungeon together, and she is the reason that I'm even able to have that. And she has helped the ministry along, sending her gifts and the money and then showing up. And I think that, you know, no matter what, there will always be a connection with Joanna.
Okay, and then also with my mind just went blank. I had a really great question.
That's okay. No.
Perfect. No. With Phillip. So with Reza coming in as the Phillip, how has your kind of on-screen chemistry and stuff with him been? I know you haven't had too many moments together, at least in season 4.
Right.
But how has that been, that transition?
Yeah, well, we have some more in season 5 together, and that's an exciting thing, because, you know, there's a whole other person there, and as actors, when you're meeting a person like that, even in a scene, you're kind of like going into the unknown together, because you don't really know how the other person works, you don't know what they're going to bring to the table, and so that's really fun to mine that for what it's worth. Someone's just grabbing my hair. It's okay, dude. Let me just grab down. Okay, so but yeah, it's been really fun to get to know Reza and get to know Reza's Phillip. It's been a real treat. Yeah.
Last but not least, sell me on the Bear Grylls series.
Bro, okay. Honestly, it was insane. Like, I can't even believe that I was a part of it. I can't even believe that it happened the way that it did. I literally, without spoiling anything, went straight from there to here, and I'm like, my mind is still whirling. He is the real deal, man. And not only is he just incredible out in the wild, I mean, it's like crazy how fluent he is with what, you know, is around him in the wilderness, but he's an amazing person to talk to, and we got really deep into questions of faith, spirituality, just personally, you know, what I've went through in my career and life, and he just is such an amazing person to talk to. So not only is there that adventure part, but then there's the real heart-to-hearts.
I'm excited for it. We'll see you know, how everything turns out with everything that was announced yesterday. I'm excited for it for sure.
Oh, it's a crazy time in the chosen world right now.
Absolutely.
Lots coming out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for your time.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks for that. Thank you.
Hero quick, if you're enjoying this video and you want to see us making more content just like this, then you can help to support us over at snipesupport.com. This is a great place where you can pledge $5, $10, or $25 a month in order to help us to continue to make this level of videos and keep on doing what we do. Oftentimes YouTube is fickle and sometimes it can be scary. Just last week we saw that the Brosen was completely banned from YouTube and then slowly reinstated over the next day or so. This was terrifying for us because if we get banned or our channel videos get taken down, that means that all the revenue from those videos and everything else is completely shut off for that period of time. And that could be a day or a week or a month, or in some cases I've seen on YouTube, years. And that's terrifying. So we want to be able to diversify and have you guys support our content in other places. Patreon is the best for this. So we'd love for you to go over there at snipesupport.com and sign up if you can. If not, no worries. But over on Patreon, you'll find extra content as well as our full live streams, which are often 3 hours weekly that we post only on Patreon. So anyway, let's get back to the video, but I wanted to thank you for your support and for even watching this video in the first place. Anyway, let's get back to it.
Maybe just do 2 questions because we're about to have to.
Hey Reza, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, So you, I feel like, are the most characteristically artistic person in the crew. That's how I see you anyway.
Yeah?
Throughout your social media posts or throughout your Instagram, through different things like that.
Thanks.
That's how I kind of see you, in the realm. Not that that's a good or bad thing, but thank you, appreciate it. Appreciate it. But I love how you're bringing in Phillip this season. I'm interested in seeing how he's going to grow into season 5. Because you got a few moments in season 4, but I think season 5 we're really going to see, for example, I was talking to Noah earlier, different moments with Andrew, different moments with the rest of the group, and really digging in there. Do you feel like you're getting the hang of just being part of this group? Do you feel like Phillip is kind of getting his stride in who he's becoming there?
I feel so, yes. I mean, the Last Supper has a moment that is based on the scripture that was a very profound part of how I interpreted Phillip, where he talks about where is the Father. I mean, I'm not spoiling anything because that's written, so haha, I get away with that. Yeah, I mean, that was for me a big premise of how I built the concept of Phillip for me, because it made sense that he's an outcast from home and then, you know, running to the wilderness and finding John the Baptist, and now he's dead, and now he's all quiet because he's mourning, and now he's there to celebrate with Jesus, and then we have a party, but then the party's over very quickly because he's also going to be gone. Yeah, I mean, it was a nice scripturally, and the script gave me a lot more opportunities to express those nuances of how he's dealing with the challenges of trying to remain steadfastly of faith, keeping hold of the family, because that's his role, I feel, whilst at the same time taking care of his inner wounds.
Absolutely. I love your presence on set and in person. I think your character of Phillip is a little bit different than Yoshi's, obviously. It's naturally going to be. But I think you carried over a lot of the things that really matter for that character, so I really appreciate that as someone who has been a long-time viewer and you know, analyst of the show, let's say.
Thank you.
And so I really appreciate it. How do you think what do you think you bring to the character that is uniquely you, I should say?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thank you so much to say that, because I was a big fan of Yoshi too, but also I think the script took a dark spin too. So it was like, you know, but what do you bring? I think
other than sleeping on set.
I mean, that was actually Yoshi's fault and the script's fault, because he slept in season 2, and I'm like, I got to do this to make this wilderness that's terrifying a home and sleeping with scorpions. But in terms of me, I think I've had this nomadic experience a lot, but also like this issue of grief that they were speaking about yesterday. I lost a therapist a couple years ago, and you know, this journey of the father issues and having a bit of a mess to deal with. That sort of comes from a very personal place, and so I like to, you know, they say you got to bleed for the character, so you bring that in to then let people who will have similar experiences not feel alone, hopefully.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Take care. Thank you so much.